Off the record. That was Jason Shockley, speaking to Akron detectives in an interrogation room. He believed he had just negotiated a deal. He believed that by turning off the audio recorder, the official record would die with the click of a button. He believed he was about to explain away a double homicide in complete secrecy. But the cameras were still rolling, the microphones were still live, and the first words out of his mouth were a confession wrapped in a plea. My mom told me it wasn't supposed to go that far.
Days after Benny's murder, detectives bring in Sarah for an interview. It was imperative that they either catch the killer right now or get new information that brings them straight to them. If they don't, then they'll have no suspects, no leads, and a murderer at large.
We know that you call 911, we got the recording, so we listen to that.
Welcome to the Forensic Audit. This is a story about two bodies, a mother's warning, and a son who turned a robbery into a...
You want to hold in the basement and we'll go up?
Unlocked, this door unlocked, these doors open right here. It is not normal.
This is Sarah Evans. She's just found the body of her good friend, Benny King, covered in
bloody rampage. But more than that, it is a story about the gap between what we want to believe about the people we love and the evidence that refuses to lie. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Audit the Case. Because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. Imagine a man walking a tightrope. On one side is the life he says he wants, a clean record, a fresh start, a good citizen. On the other side is the gravitational pull of his past, the desperation of poverty, and the rage of a man who feels wronged. In the case of Jason Shockley, that rope snapped not once, but twice. And when it snapped, it didn't just drop him, it dropped him into a sea of blood that spread across two crime scenes and a family's shattered trust. The first body was found on April 8th, the second on May 21st. The two scenes were almost identical, and the man responsible tried to use his own mother as his alibi. Let's go back to the beginning of the evidence trail. On the morning of April 8th, Akron police received a 911 call from a woman named Sarah Evans. She reported she had found her friend, 69-year-old Benny King, lying dead in a pool of blood inside his home. The audio of the call is harrowing, a testament to the shock of discovering someone you care about brutally murdered. When officers arrived, they observed a scene that defied easy explanation. The home had been ransacked, cabinets were flung open, their contents scattered. But upon closer inspection, nothing appeared to have been taken. A traditional burglary didn't fit. It looked like someone was looking for something specific.
What's the location of your emergency? Oh my God. What is the problem? What's the problem here?
Ma'am, is he breathing?
No, I don't know. I'm not oh my God.
Immediately, police rushed to the scene.
Okay. You want to go hang out over there for us so you can have room to work here?
The ground floor had been ransacked, but it was the scene upstairs that had terrified.
Something small, something hidden. The physical evidence told a grim story. Benny King had suffered more than 30 stab wounds, a number that suggests not just violence, but frenzy, overkill. The blood spatter analysis indicated that the attack began in the bedroom, likely catching Benny off guard as he slept. He managed to crawl into the hallway, leaving a thick trail of crimson, where the killer ultimately finished the job. The presence of defensive wounds on his hands proved what the police already knew.
To fight back. The police don't know this yet, but in just a few weeks, this exact scene would be found across town in an identical murder. For now, though, what police found in the kitchen was even more bizarre.
Any ID or nothing? Can't find anything?
I didn't dig around too much there. I'm really not going to. Well, because the lady who called said that all of his cabinets in the kitchen are open, and she checks on them on a regular basis, and she's like, I don't know why that would be like that. Like someone who's listening here looking for something. Like all the cabinets here are open. I mean, who does this?
Oddly, though, nothing seemed to have been.
Benny didn't go quietly. He fought for his life. But the mystery was who. The early investigation was like pulling a loose thread on a cheap sweater. The more you pull, the more problems you find. Detectives spoke to Sarah Evans. She identified two brothers, Justin and
information that would start to spiral this case into a complex mystery.
Was it the back door that you found open?
No, the front. When I come back to 11:30, this door was locked.
Okay.
And when I called you, when I come back up, the front door was unlocked.
Okay, so you were actually here this morning at 11:30, and you spoke to him then?
No, I didn't see him. I thought he would lay down and take a nap from 3.
And then you came back a little bit after 1, and that's when you found the door open?
Yeah, it was unlocked.
Okay.
The back door is unlocked too.
11:59.
Does he usually keep his doors locked?
Yeah.
23 Mo Drive, break.
So I said he locks it, he goes to take a nap, but as soon as he gets up in the morning, he...
Johnny as potential suspects. She claimed they had disputes with Benny over money and stolen property. Then, a neighbor described a suspicious gold Hummer seen fleeing the scene with a young white guy driving. The car, the money, the history, it all seemed to point toward a simple feud between neighbors. But then Benny's daughter, Patricia, arrived, and she identified a completely different suspect, Sarah Evans herself. Patricia told detectives that Sarah had been managing Benny's finances, but that the bills weren't getting paid.
Tell the detectives he was telling the truth. They still didn't want to discount him completely as a suspect, but they did figure that if he wasn't the killer, then he might at least be able to help them out. So they asked who he thought might have been responsible, and his answer was someone they were very familiar with. Sarah.
She knew. She took Ben's bank card to the bank, food stamps. That's what my brother was telling me on the phone the other day. And he thinks that she might have had something to do with it. So if I point a finger, I'd probably check her for sure.
Of course, he's talking about Sarah, and he's accusing her of exactly the same thing Patricia did earlier. And in fact, John had even mentioned this in his interview earlier that day too.
Anybody in that neighborhood or anybody have any problems with him or give him a rough time?
Yeah, what's called down the street.
Who's that?
I'm trying to think of her name. She lives down at the end of the road. She'd go over there, take his money for bills, go up to the corner store, and was supposed to pay on all his bills. Well, come to find out, she ain't been paying the full amount on your bills. She's been only paying the half. And I went over there one day. He said, after all I've done for that bitch.
Did they reconcile at all, or?
No, he said, look, you're a thief, get the out of my house, don't ever ask me for another dime.
Quickly, the cops are starting to realize that Sarah wasn't the wonderful, trusted member of the community that...
The cash was disappearing. The implication was as clear as the blood on the floor. Sarah was robbing him blind, and she was the last person to see him alive. This is where the evidence bends, but it does not break. 3 different people pointed at Sarah. 3 different narratives pointed back. The police, however, had to reconcile the physical evidence, the open cabinets, the cash missing, with the testimony. In the chaos, one minor detail fell through the cracks. When detectives asked Sarah if she had children, she mentioned her son, Jason. He had recently been released from prison. He had a record for robbery. He knew Benny's house. He knew about the money. Detectives now had a new suspect, but it wasn't a lead you could immediately follow. Jason had disappeared. The investigation paused, waiting for a scent.
Johnny is about to say actually makes the cops even more suspicious.
Who is Justin?
Brother.
Okay, would he have seen him later than you had?
No, he ain't been a lot around down there.
if somebody said they saw him down there, that wouldn't be true?
I don't know. When I go down there, my brother ain't there.
Usually, Johnny and Justin would go and see Benny every morning at around sunset, and that's been the case for the last 3 years since his wife passed away. Johnny can't think of a reason for Justin to be down there so early, especially not on his own without telling him. Johnny was even able to provide some extra details about the disagreement they had recently, proving to the cops just how heated it had gotten between them.
He told him, look, get the away from my house, don't you ever come back again. He said, I've loaned you money 4 or 5 times on this bull junk stuff that you bring me. I'm on a fixed income here. I can't just keep giving.
He physically pushed him?
Oh, yeah.
By this point, the cops had already heard all they needed to hear. 19 hours later, they managed to track down Justin and would bring him in for interrogation. Justin was left in the interrogation room for around 45 minutes before the interrogation began. This is a tactic used, among many others, to make Justin feel as uncomfortable as possible.
Hey, Justin. You are arrested for those warrants.
Moral refrain. My mom told me it wasn't supposed to go that far. During the interrogation, Jason is sitting across from detectives, and he is trying to thread a needle. He admits to knowing Gary Ballas. He admits to spending time with him. He even admits to driving his car. But he insists it was a loan. He insists it was a friendship. The cops, however, know about the credit cards. They know about the car. They know about the inconsistency of his story. It's at this moment that the detective makes a critical tactical decision. He suggests to Jason that if he feels uncomfortable with the recorder running, they can turn it off. Off the record, the detective says. Jason jumps at the chains. He demands the audio be turned off. He thinks he has outsmarted the system. He thinks the conversation is now private. But the camera is rolling. The microphone is live. And the confession begins. Jason tells the detective,
I don't think so. I don't think they even know.
Yeah, we need to get
Come on, man.
Just as they'd hoped, Jason was found lying amongst rubble and trash on the second floor, attempting to hide away from the very people who just put him in cuffs. Thankfully, he put up no resistance, and a quick sweep of the house confirmed he was the only person here. Amongst the trash on the floor, the officers found multiple knives and a credit card belonging to Gary Ballas. After 6 weeks of investigations, they'd finally caught him. He was then taken out of the house and into the back of a patrol car. But there was still one problem with all of this. They still had no evidence that he was the one who killed Benny all those weeks ago. Sure, the connection is strange and multiple people have accused him, but there's nothing solid. That's what the cops wanted to change in the interrogation room and bring peace to Benny's family almost 2 months after his death. Remember, Jason is likely not aware of exactly how much the cops know. All he knows is that he was arrested and now the cops are interrogating him.
That sentence implies foreknowledge. It implies that before the violence erupted, before the knife was picked up, there was a conversation, a warning, a mother telling her son something. Likely, don't hurt this man, don't take it too far. And Jason ignored her. He knew what he was about to do. He knew it was wrong, and he did it anyway. The detective then pivots. He asks Jason about Benny. Jason denies it vehemently. I didn't do Benny, he says. But he can't explain why he was there. He can't explain why the money was missing. He can't explain why the murder happened the same exact way. Jason insists he is an innocent man for one of the murders. The prosecutors, however, argued that it was the same pattern: robbery, confrontation, murder.
There's a microphone built in, so now that the audio recorder is off, he thinks he's free to say whatever he wants.
He's over there drinking wine and stuff, just talking bullshit. I guess my mom had borrowed $20 from him. You know, he was telling me about it and stuff, and then, you know, to be, you know, I'm very protective.
Okay.
I love my mom at the time. He got to talking real crazy about my mom. I asked him, like, please stop. So I'm like, you know what, I gotta go. I get up and leave, and he threw his cup at me, and it had wine in it. He threw it at me, picked up his knife, I pushed him down, he dropped the knife, and I picked the knife up.
Where'd you push that knife?
Back into his chair. He said, I'll shoot you. And when he went to reach, I was like, I don't. He's so serious.